everybody. Welcome. There we go. Looks like we got both cameras on. So tonight, we are so excited to have all of you here. We've got a super fun class presentation for you tonight. Totally different format. You're not stuck in my office or Jody's office like we would normally be, because tonight we're going to be talking all about how you can use vitality oils in your beverages. So we'll be talking about tea, we'll be talking about coffee, we'll be talking about cold drinks, and it's going to be super fun. So we're going to be switching back and forth between different cameras. You're probably going to be best off using your speaker view tonight, because that will get you the close-up rather than using the gallery view where you'll see everybody's pictures. We've got somebody on our end, our sons are our production team tonight, and they're going to be manning the cameras, switching back and forth between some of those different views so you can see some close-ups of what we're doing. So that's enough about what we're doing tonight. Tell them who we are, because I didn't even mention that.
So hey, this is Brian, and I'm Jody McKenna, and let's start with here. Who are you?
Naomi.
Naomi.
Kathy.
Brian's mom.
Gabe.
Gabe. And then Ezra and Asher are behind the screens right now. And we are the founders of Wise House Oils, a community filled with lots of awesome people. And every Monday night, we show up and either we teach or someone else teaches a class, and we just invite you to come along. And we love you just to throw some comments in the chat, and that just interact amongst yourselves. And then you can use these videos to share with people who are curious or interested in oils and oil-infused supplements. So these are for you to use also and to share. So now it's time for you to introduce yourself in the chat. Tell us where you're tuning in from, and are you a coffee drinker or a tea drinker?
Or both.
Or both. Yes.
Or do you make them decide?
No, you got to choose one.
All right, choose their preference. All right, so we're going to be talking about lots of different recipes tonight that you can use oils for in beverages. And we're also going to have a time a little bit later on where you will get to share your favorite beverage. If you got my email, you know this. If you didn't, then now's your chance to prepare. If you share one of your favorite drinks and how you add oils to it or any other Young Living product to it, if you do a demo for us at the end of this, then that earns you a free gift from us. So be ready, be thinking about what it is that you're going to share as a demo. And the gift will be proportionate to the creativity of your beverage. So if you just say, well, I've got water and lemon, and that's your demo, you're not going to get a very nice gift. So be creative. Not that there's anything wrong
Who
with
sends
that.
out the gifts?
Be creative, but be creative. I'm not saying it'll be a bad gift. You'll still get something. We'll give you a day forever. But we want to see something with a little more creativity. So show us what you got. Be creative. Okay, so let's talk about Young Living and Vitality oils. If you can see, we've got a lineup of oils. Some of these are in white labels. Some of them are in colored labels. So with Young Living, the great thing about ingesting oils is that you know that every oil that has a white label means it is labeled for internal use. Now, they only label them separately with the white labels and the colored labels because the FDA requires them to do that. There's actually no difference, which is why we actually have some of the colored labels, and maybe we're out of the Vitality, because they're cheaper per drop when you buy them with the colored labels than when you buy them with the white labels. But Young Living has a whole line of these Vitality oils, and you know that anything that's in the Vitality line, whether it's in the white label or not, anything in the Vitality line is safe for you to ingest. And so that's what we're going to be talking about. If you go to the grocery store and buy your oils there, if you go to the gas station and buy oils there, you can't actually do that. You know, they sell oils.
I did not know that.
Wow.
I would not take a risk on ingesting those. And the reason being is that Young Living goes through a whole higher level of standards, what we call the Cpco Promise, in terms of making sure that the oils are the highest quality so that there's no risk to you when you ingest them. And that's not the case when you buy just an average oil at the grocery store. So tell us a little bit more about seed to seal and what exactly these oils go through in order to achieve that status.
Definitely. And Gabe, while I'm doing that, will you check and see how many tea drinkers we have and how many coffee drinkers we have in the chat?
We can't read the chat comments from here, so Gabe's going to be right there. It's right there on the screen, dude. Right there.
All right. So now many of you already know this, But it's always really good to be reminded of this, of the Cpco Promise, and just that it's more than just a slogan, because it's what really makes Young Living stand out and what makes it so powerful. So Young Living takes great pride in making sure that you get high quality essential oils and backs that guarantee all the way from the seed of the plant to the sealed bottle of the oil. So check out some of these strict guidelines. Once again, I know many of you may have heard this, but it's good to be reminded. So when these arrive at your house, this is what they're going to experience. Plant material that's grown on corporately owned farms or carefully vetted partner farms that you can visit. In fact, I just visited one recently. Sustainable farming and sourcing practices providing the purest oil. Great care is taken to preserve and protect natural resources. Hand-weeded fields and the zero use of pesticides. I saw this personally in action when I was out in Idaho. Use of food-grade distillers with state-of-the-art design and distillation methods. Even the distillery, the pressure cookers that they use are designed specifically for the plants that are distilled in them. There's rigorous testing on each batch by internal labs and third-party facilities. It's low pressure and low temperature distillation without the use of solvents and synthetic chemicals. That's why it's so important that you know this, because that's why you can ingest these vitality oils. And they're oils that are carefully reviewed through every step of production in order to meet or exceed industry standards and purity. And the best part is that if these oils do not meet those standards, guess what they do? Anybody know?
They sell them at the grocery store.
Yep, they get tossed. They totally get tossed. So to learn more, check out the Seed to Seal Promise at seedtoseal.com. So
all right, we'll put that link in the chat for you so you can go check that out and see all about the Seed.
Gabe, what do we have more, tea or coffee?
Tea.
More tea drinkers. All right. Well, you're going to have to cater to that tonight.
I know. I'm a coffee drinker. I would say you're coffee.
I'm mostly coffee.
You do like tea, but mostly coffee. All right. So tell us what it is also in the chat. We want to focus on that Seed to Seal. Tell us what it is that you love most about the Seed to Seal Promise. Like what is it that resonates with you more than any of all those things that Jody talked about? What is the thing that resonates the most with you? And put that in the chat. And in the meantime, I think we need to start making some beverages.
Absolutely.
Now, you may be wondering, we didn't really explain why my mom and Naomi and Gabe are here with us. Well, it's because we need some unbiased, completely impartial taste testers, right? And since they're related to us, that makes, by default, that makes them completely unbiased, right? I think so. And we are not paying them to say everything tastes good. They're actually going to give you their honest opinions. And some of these are will be new beverages to them. Some of them they've probably had before in various forms, like our Peppermint Hot Chocolate is a common one that we do around here. So, but some of them will be new. So we'll see how they react to some of these new beverages. So that's our taste testers. They will be your guide for tonight in terms of knowing what are the best and worst of the recipes. So with that, we're going to start out with coffee, even though we have more tea drinkers. We're going to start with coffee because hopefully then the caffeine will be out of my kids' systems before they have
Except it's decaf.
Oh, it is decaf. Good.
Yes.
Caffeine and decaf.
I'm getting really thirsty, so I'm coughing right now because I am parched. I will do that in a second. All right, so Brian's going to be making a cinnamon French press. So while he's doing that, I'll tell you a little bit about the cinnamon bark vitality. So it's warm and spicy, and you can enhance a lot of different treats by using cinnamon. It's a great substitute in any recipe that calls for ground cinnamon. But the one thing is that when you're using these vitality oils, they can be really strong. So it's often great to use a toothpick and dip the toothpick in, although many of the drinks tonight we're actually using cue the hot water. We're actually using drops because I think Brian's making a larger batch. So this oil really has some great antioxidant properties, and it helps support a healthy digestive and immune system. It's also one of the main oils found in the Infused blend and an interdependent supplement that is so incredibly powerful. And now, you're not quite ready for us yet.
I will be. So in the meantime, while the water is brewing, it should be almost ready. We didn't. All I did for this is just a thing of French press. And you guys can light from the camera. So this is just, we pre-ground the coffee in here right before class started. So that's about a half a cup or so of ground coffee, and then I just added 2 to 3 drops of cinnamon bark to this. Now, you talked about how sometimes you only eat it too thick. However, remember, oils are really, really volatile, meaning they evaporate easily. So when you add hot water to it, you're actually going to evaporate some of that oil off. So that's why you can get away with using a little more in something like this than you would if you were adding a couple drops to something cold that you would bring over. So water should be almost ready. We're going to add that, and then that'll have to sit.
And then while the French press is sitting and brewing, Brian's going to be making an oil-infused coffee creamer. And one of the best parts about, oh, that smells good. It smells like Christmas. One of the best parts about this oil-infused coffee creamer is that you can understand all of the ingredients.
Yes. All right. So I'm going to let that sit. You guys can pass that along and smell that.
It smells really good.
We'll leave that go for a couple minutes, and then that way we'll do the creamer, and then they can decide whether they want to be tough and drink it black like Dave will, or whether they want to add a little bit of creamer. So for the oil infused creamer, I'm going to bring it back over there. Keep the camera there. That's right.
So this creamer we've made this one dairy free. Though normally this creamer you would use real dairy, but I really wanted to be able to have this. So it is dairy free. Now, interestingly enough, you can actually get sweetened condensed milk in a coconut version. It doesn't have to be in a dairy version. So what Brian's doing is he is adding a can of sweetened condensed coconut milk, but you could use sweetened and condensed milk. And then he's going to be adding, well, this would normally call for 2 cups of half and half. He's actually going to be adding a full can of coconut cream. And I opted for the coconut cream just so it would stay really thick, because I do think that coffee creamers kind of taste better when they're thicker. And I personally like that. And then he's going to put 4 drops of Vitality. I'm curious, what Vitality oil do you think Brian should put in the creamer? We do have one picked out, but I am curious what you think would be good in cinnamon infused coffee. So Asher and Gabe, keep us posted.
Yeah, somebody read us the chat comments.
What oil should be in the creamer that pairs with the cinnamon coffee? Kathy, what would you say?
I would say
Orange?
Yeah, we got an orange.
cinnamon and orange.
A nutmeg.
Nutmeg, okay.
Well,
Definitely smell like Christmas.
Another nutmeg.
So these would be really, the orange is really, really uplifting. Orange is also great for so many things, but the flavor of orange is pretty awesome. But when you do like nutmeg, ginger, things like that, then you're also talking about supporting a lot of different body systems. So you could be having your coffee and also helping out your digestion and various things like that. So we're ready.
I think we're ready. So the oil that we had picked out was actually orange.
Woo.
Yes, so we're going to try orange, but you could try anything. Of course, you might not be doing a cinnamon coffee, so there are literally a million different combinations that you could try with different Vitality oils. So I'm going to add about 4 drops of the orange to that.
And then orange oil, I really like the orange oil because it is a really inexpensive oil, but it's really great in Ningxia. Like, so let's say you put some really disgusting things in your Ningxia, right? Like they just don't taste good. Like mineral essence does not taste good. K&B does not taste good. So the one way you can really cover up some of the other like liquid supplements or tinctures is to add orange oil, and it really covers them up. Plus it has limonene in it, which is a great one for you to Google. It has antioxidant properties and helps cleanse the digestive system. Now, note.
All right, pause though, because I think this is ready. Who wants to try a little bit of this?
So note that citrus oils can break down the petrochemicals in plastic. So you really want to make sure that you're not drinking from you're not drinking from a plastic cup or water bottle or something like that. Really, anytime that you're using oils, it's just best to kind of avoid that. We always use stainless steel, glass, or ceramic whenever we're using oils, but really just in general, like all plastic cups except our shaker bottles for a protein shake. Everything else is
That's right.
is
You pass on that one.
Do we get creamer?
We'll try it first, and then I'll give you a creamer.
Okay.
so here we go. Tasting. Very hot.
It is very hot. It's coffee.
I like
It's
that.
very hot, but I love the touch of cinnamon.
I want to
There's
know.
2 drops of cinnamon on top of the grounds. Not too loud. It's too strong.
And I want to note too that the coffee that we're using is Brickhouse Coffee Roasters tonight. It's a decaf coffee blend that they have that they are in the White House Oils community. So we love to support them whenever we can. Looks like we're sharing spoons tonight. Thinking we're
That's the
family.
advantage of having family. Is you taste that. That is delicious.
So sorry you guys aren't here, but we will be giving you the recipes. Yummy.
What do you think, sweets? Still coffee?
So
Yeah.
you would like a bottle of that and a tiny bit of coffee, right?
Steamer.
Ezra, you want to try some out?
Sure.
Share some with Asher.
Mm.
All
So
right.
what's the verdict? Better with the creamer or without?
Oh, with.
Gabe?
That's pretty good.
Without. Oh.
Gabe said without. He's our black coffee drinker. He does not like anything to taint the taste of his coffee.
It's still very good with it. That's better without.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that I necessarily needed the creamer with that cinnamon in it because that cinnamon
Cinnamon
would
orange
change.
together is
Yeah.
pretty darn good though.
Okay, so Brian, what are you gonna do next?
All right, so this is our last coffee drink because we did the plain, the black with the cinnamon, and then added the creamer, the orange creamer. So our last one has to be the best one, right? The pièce de résistance is going to be our Rosemary Lavender Latte. And so while this one was just black coffee with a little bit of creamer added, we are going to escalate to actually doing this with the espresso machine. So if you don't have an espresso machine, that's okay. You can still try and mimic this by using black coffee in a French press or drip.
Or even
And
an
then-
AeroPress.
Or an AeroPress, and then heating up the milk and the oil on the stove and adding that to it. Just trying to whip it up real good.
Or
with
if you
the
have a
whisk
frother.
or frother.
Yeah.
So we have the full espresso machine, so I'm going to be doing that on the espresso machine. And of course, Jody will be the primary target of this one because she is a latte fanatic. So,
Sorry, guys. We'll
all right. So tell us while I'm doing that, and it may get noisy, and if it does, sorry. Jody's going to tell us a little bit about Lavender Vitality and Rosemary Vitality while I make it.
Okay, so in this drink that Brian's making is, he's going to use oat milk. You can use dairy, of course. 2 drops of rosemary and 2 drops of lavender. 1 tablespoon of honey or maple syrup. We really, really, really like maple syrup in our lattes. And then a shot of espresso. Now, I pack the espresso, so sometimes I pack it a little bit tight and it comes out really slow. So hopefully Brian is in luck tonight and the espresso is going to come out easily when he pulls the shot. Okay, Lavender Vitality. It has a sweet, slightly floral flavor. You might want to have time to relax when you drink this one because it usually improves your sleep quality and can help with occasional sleeplessness. How cool is that? Drink your decaf coffee and have a latte with lavender and feel relaxed. It also supports overall wellness. I know I like to use lavender on my skin at night, especially if I have a blemish. I put it on there. We like to use it on boo-boos because it just is really soothing. And it has great cleansing properties, antioxidant properties, and eases nervous tension. So you can try adding a toothpick swirl into a cup of chamomile tea at bedtime. Now there are lots more ways you can use lavender. We'd love for you to put some of the other uses, how you use your lavender at home, because the way we learn is by sharing those tips and tricks really in these chat sessions. So how do you use lavender at home? Okay, while you're chatting about that, the lavender, and Brian's making that latte, let's talk a little bit more about rosemary. Now, I don't use rosemary a lot.
I apologize. It's going to get a little noisy as I steam the milk.
It's going to get a lot of it noisy. Can you guys still hear me? Is there a thumbs up if you can hear me, or a thumbs down if it's that thumbs up? All right. So rosemary is very herbaceous, which is a fun word to say, and it usually is found in savory recipes. However, it can be paired nicely in a coffee drink. It has naturally occurring constituents of eucalyptol and alpha-pinene. So eucalyptol, what do we use? What does that sound like? Anyone here? Sounds like eucalyptus, doesn't it? So rosemary might be really great for things like that you use eucalyptus for. And the alpha-pinene, Brian is getting out the air bubbles, because this is one tip and trick. When you froth your milk, you want to do this annoying habit of tapping. Brian
This
likes
is what
to-
our kids wake up to every morning.
Yes. It's really great because this gets rid of the air bubbles, and so you get a better creme or foam at the top. Okay, so the alpha-pinene also sounds like pine oil. So it is rosemary is one of the star essential oils in Young Living products. You're going to find it in seeds. That says a lot about it. Energy to wake you up. Juvaflex, which is really great using Juvaflex over in this area. Essential Zyme 4, my favorite enzyme. And once again, inner defense. So try 1 drop of Rosemary Vitality plus a tablespoon of maple syrup. Mix it with some milk or cream. Froth the milk, and then add it to your coffee or latte. And then top with a dash of sea salt. And voila.
Are you nervous or excited about this?
I think I'm nervous. I think I'm excited about it. I haven't ingested rosemary beyond like having it infused in essential zyme, so I'm a little bit curious. So our kids like to make cream sodas, and they often put lavender in it. How many lavender drops do you guys usually use in your cream soda?
Probably 2,
How many drops?
like 1 or 2.
Yeah, and how do you make a cream soda?
Sparkling water with milk and essential oils.
So that's a big favorite, the last right before dinner. Can I please make a cream soda? And how can you say no when it's all legit, really good stuff for you? That's good.
She's surprised. I surprised her.
That's good.
You think it's good?
I think I might
Well,
like
you had
it.
on the-
I might like it a little bit like lighter. I definitely feel the healthiness,
The herbaceousness.
the herbaceousness.
That is
That
2
is
drops.
hot.
2 drops of each. So that's 2 drops of rosemary and 2 drops of
I would do 1 drop of each.
It is a smaller portion too, though.
You
Although
like
I
that?
used to have some.
Oh, the non-coffee girl likes it.
The oils are strong.
Would anybody want to try just the milk?
Yes.
You want to try that?
Ezra and Ashley, you want to try this?
Sure.
Family style here. All right, so thumbs up. I personally would like less oil, but it is good. I think it would also,
think that's pretty good.
if you felt, I honestly, like what I thought was, I feel like I'm drinking a yummy version of the Thieves Chest Rub, but in a good way. Like that sounds really awkward. Like, oh, why would you want Thieves Chest Rub? But I mean like in a good way.
In the best way possible. They're drinking Vicks Vapor Rub.
No, Thieves.
Yes, the Thieves version, of course.
Yes.
I'm not sure I would even drink the Thieves version.
Well, I
Especially
know,
not.
I just meant like it's sweet and it tastes good, but it just felt, it's healthy too. Like, I don't know, you get a good feeling.
Herbaceous.
Yes,
Herbaceous.
it's herbaceous. It's very herbaceous. All right, time to move on from coffee and switch gears a little bit to Naomi's favorite one of the night, hot chocolate. So we're gonna make a peppermint hot chocolate. And I know if it's anywhere like here, it's like 90 degrees today, so you probably don't want hot chocolate. But it won't be long before it's cold and you're gonna want hot chocolate, so you better have that recipe in advance. So we're gonna do this is one that we do a lot in the wintertime, right? Like anytime, like this happens multiple times a week in our house. Because we homeschool, and so it's always like the afternoon break, like let's have some hot chocolate while mom and dad have coffee. So for this one, the ingredients are going to be 2 cups. Yeah, why don't you do that while I start making.
Okay, so for this one, and you guys are gonna all get the recipe for being on the call. We'll be sending all these recipes out to you. But, so for the hot chocolate, there is 2 cups of milk. And usually, we almost always use a whole fat milk, no matter what. If we can get raw milk, we do that. But this is a whole fat oat milk. Right behind it was because my mother-in-law, Kathy here, loves real milk. So I made sure to bring up the whole milk because that richness really adds to the flavor and texture of a beverage where, you know, like skim and 2 and 1, like it's just not the same. So you get the fat in there, and I really feel that also helps you better process this if you can process it easily. Okay, so it's 2 cups of whole
I'll give
milk.
you a little pro tip here because it calls for cocoa and some kind of sweetener. You can use sugar or maple syrup or honey. What do you guys want? Do you want maple syrup or honey? Maple syrup.
Yeah.
So what I like to do is mix the maple syrup and the cocoa in advance because then it makes like a syrup. And instead of if you just dump it in the milk, then what happens? The powder goes everywhere when you try and stir it. So instead, mix the maple syrup and the cocoa together by themselves. It'll make a nice little paste or syrup, and then you add that to it.
And then it doesn't even, like, otherwise too, the cocoa will oftentimes like stick at the bottom, especially if you're frothing it in a steamer or whatever. But when you mix it like this, then it doesn't do that anymore. So that is a tip we learned the hard way. All right, so it's 2 cups of whole milk, 2 cups of cocoa powder. There's your syrup right there. No more need to buy syrup from the store. 1/4 cup of sugar or maple syrup, adjust to taste. And then 1 or 2 drops of Peppermint Vitality. And then whipped cream, which is optional. Now, I did not have time to get that made today, but when we make whipped cream, we actually use heavy whipping cream. And then we add either a splash of stevia or we put in I don't know, maybe 2 tablespoons of maple syrup or honey. And then we put it in our KitchenAid mixer. We use a whisk and we just beat it until it gets the stiff, almost stiff peaks. And that's our whipped cream. And everyone's always like, this tastes so amazing. And what's great about it is it does taste amazing. And once again, you understand the ingredients, but it makes your whipped cream stand out above the rest because it just tastes so legit, real, like straight from the creamer. And I learned how to make whipped cream from Kathy, my mother-in-law.
Wow.
I remember when first time I saw her doing that, I was like, what are you doing? Like, because it seemed like so Laura Ingalls Wilder to me. And so that is how I learned how to make whipped cream. Okay.
I also put a little vanilla in it.
Oh yes, little vanilla.
In the whipped cream.
And making homemade vanilla, another little pro tip here, is so easy. You just get vanilla beans. You can get them fairly inexpensively at grocery stores or Trader Joe's. And then you slice the vanilla bean open, and then you open it up, look like you're peeling it to dissect it. Scoop out the seeds that are inside. Put those in a mason jar. Add your vanilla beans. and then you fill it with either rum or vodka or brandy and let it sit there for at least 6 weeks in the dark. And you've got a really cost-effective, all-natural vanilla that tastes amazing. I mean, like, I don't drink it straight up, but I mean, it's great in your baked goods and in your whipping cream and things like that. Okay, so what Brian's doing is he's using a small saucepan to heat the milk over medium to high heat. He's whisking the milk until it starts to bubble. Careful to not let it burn. In a small bowl, he already whisked together the cocoa and the maple syrup so there's no lumps. And then I believe already added that to the pan for the hot chocolate. And he's coming back over
Done.
and is going to be adding the Peppermint Vitality drops.
I actually diverged from the recipe. I did add it before.
Oh, he's already done it.
So
Yay!
yeah, it will be a little stronger if you wait till after. So I added it.
Okay, so what's so great about
I guess I should be.
Peppermint oil.
Here.
Yeah, I'm done.
With your cups.
Okay.
You don't have a cup.
What's so great about peppermint? Well, peppermint is really cooling. So I was crazy hot yesterday and we were getting ready to go to church. And I actually put some peppermint on the back of my neck and my wrist and right in the crook of my arm, and I cooled down. And that was great because then I didn't have to take a shower and I also smelled good. Okay, so you can add it to food, you can add it to coffee and tea, you can make brownies with it, it's amazing like that, or a peppermint mocha or a peppermint hot chocolate. It's really strong, so especially if you are going to have this in a cooler beverage, then you're going to want just to use a toothpick. But like Brian said, the hot beverages, it's a volatile oil, meaning it evaporates quickly, and so you can use a little bit more. But peppermint is great because it supports the gastrointestinal system. So if you do feel like you have the toots, it's great to rub on your belly. Actually, also, here's another fun fact. If you need to go to the bathroom, put a drop of peppermint oil in the toilet before you go if you're having trouble going. Fun fact, yes. So peppermint is comforting. It enhances the healthy gut function. It helps maintain efficiency of the digestive tract. It reduces feelings of discomfort after a very large meal. And it may support improved performance during exercise, test taking, studying, even driving. Like if you're getting really tired behind the wheel, peppermint is amazing to help you stay awake. All right, taste testers, how is our peppermint hot chocolate?
It's too hot.
It's still too hot. Yeah. So what you guys are seeing is legit real life here. We have like the peppermint hot chocolate we make all the time, but all these others are brand spanking new to us. And so it's a little bit hot and we did not practice this. But hey, we thought let's still invite everyone into our kitchen. Okay, next we are going to be doing wellness tea. So Brian, you might want to turn that water on, but maybe to a lesser degree so it's not as hot. So this wellness tea, we have two different recipes. We're going to use 1 to 2 drops of Infused Vitality, some honey, and then some water. Now, you can add a tea bag, but tonight we are opting not to. We're just making it just this wellness tea. Like this would be great to use if your throat's feeling a little bit like sandpaper. Just be great to use if you're just feeling just a little tired and run down.
All right. That's going. So while the water's heating, I'm gonna go ahead and add the honey to this. We're gonna do just honey to taste. So I'm gonna do it in these small cups. We're gonna run out of cups here, and we need to replenish. And I like to add the honey first and then add the oil to the honey because the oil will just sit on top of the water since the oil and the water repel each other. But if you add the oil to the honey, then it will mix with that, and then that mixes with the tea once the water is ready, with the water. I'm not sure the water is ready.
That's just the water. So, you got to try the hot chocolate yet? Oh, Gabe is done. How is it, Gabe?
Good.
Good?
Oh, yeah.
Too much peppermint, not enough.
That's right. That's right.
Don't be hot.
That's right.
So here's another fun fact for you is every week, Brian and his mom have a little coffee date. And he goes over there 1 week and she comes over here 1 week. She gets it. She loves it when her son makes her a mocha. So that's really cute. They have that little date. All right, Thieves Vitality. So Thieves is one of, it's a special oil to our family because it was our first oil that helped us get started with Young Living. It's an oil that radically transformed the health of our family. And interestingly, and yeah, it's just a powerhouse. So there's an entire line of Thieves products because it's such an amazing oil. One of my personal favorites right now that Naomi likes to use. What did you use on the stove today? Tell them.
The kitchen. Wait, what's it?
The scrub?
The kitchen and bathroom scrub.
Yeah, that scrub is amazing. It really works and cleans things up really, really well. So, and there's also the toothpaste, flossing, there's dental floss. There is also the cleaner and the hand sanitizer. So many things. That's really hot. Okay, we should have put ice cubes out. But so Thieves has lemon, clove, eucalyptus radiata, cinnamon bark, and rosemary essential oil. It's spicy, so you definitely want to not add a ton. And then like, let's say you get some on your skin and you're like, whoa, that feels hot. Don't add water. What you do is you make sure to add like a fatty vegetable oil, like Young Living's V6 oil, which just came back in stock, or coconut oil, jojoba oil, almond oil, something like that. Please try and avoid a canola oil or like the artificial vegetable oil. So that's if you get it on your skin. All right, wellness tea. Do we have any taste testing yet, or is it still too hot?
Too hot.
Too hot. Now this one we've made before.
How about the camera people on the Peppermint Hot Chocolate that I put behind the scenes? Good. All right, one vote for good, one abstention. Too hot. Too hot.
Too hot.
All right, so we'll have to come back to that. We're going to keep going and move on to the next recipe, which is for a spiced chai.
Chai.
And Jody and I have a special place for chai because we went just shortly after we were married. We've been married almost 2 years. We went to India and spent about 3.5 months living in India and actually celebrated our second anniversary there. And we drank chai every day.
Like two or three times a day.
2 or 3 or 4 times a day. Like anytime you went to visit somebody, you had to sit and have chai. And chai, of course, is just the Indian word for tea. So a lot of people say chai tea, they're really saying tea, which is redundant, not necessary, right? So it's chai. And so we are going to make a special spiced chai, a little different than the authentic Indian version of this. But as why don't you go ahead and start telling them about the ingredients, and I'll go ahead and start with
So it's 1 drop of Lemongrass Vitality, 1 drop of Ginger Vitality, 1 drop of Cardamom Vitality. It says in a chai tea bag, but we opted to do black tea because in India, you would make it with black tea. We would not use a chai tea because chai is tea. And then honey or sweetener to taste. Now in India, you would use turbano sugar, and then hot water and frothed milk. The other thing about in India, it would actually be water buffalo milk. and which is really good. Surprisingly, it is really good. And you want a full fat milk for chai to truly taste like chai, the way you would have it in India. Okay, so the Lemongrass Vitality is a great oil. It's got a citrusy flavor. It's crisp. So basically that means like when you smell it, like it is more of like a sharp, I don't know how else to say it, but crisp. We need to come up with some words that are a little bit more descriptive, I think. But herbaceous at the same time. Now, yeah, I use a lot of lemongrass in we cook Thai food, so it always is going in our Thai food. It's a key ingredient to Young Living sleek, citrus slim weight loss products. There's a sleek oil that's phenomenal in sparkling water and in your Ningxia. And the lemongrass vitality supports overall wellness, the digestive system, the healthy circulatory system. However, I must admit, I sometimes have been known to use lemongrass when I've walked a lot and maybe my shoes and my flip-flops didn't quite feel well. So I noticed that I feel a little sore on the back of my heel or on the underside of my foot. And it really helps support that area. It just feels a lot better when that lemongrass is slapped on there. Okay, so you can add this to honey, stir in your favorite hot tea, hot or cold. Start small with a toothpick. Unless it's hot, you can get a little bit more breaks. Then we have ginger. I know Brian has used ginger a lot in capsules. In fact, whenever we travel with Young Living, they often give us a bottle of ginger for our traveling. Because it really helps support a calm stomach. So especially if you're going to go on a roller coaster ride, it'd be great to take a capsule of ginger. It pairs well with Fennel Vitality, so try those two together with some hot water and some tea. Even put ginger in peppermint or chamomile tea. It has, this is a new word to me. It has zingy berini and beta philandrin. These are also, so go look those constituents up because I didn't before this class, just keeping it real. Okay, you're going to find Ginger Vitality and Digest, Digest and Cleanse.
That's a great chance though to plug the new desk references from.
Oh, yes, the new desk references are amazing from Life Science Publishing. Amazing. All right, so you'll find it Digest, Digest and Cleanse, Endo-Dries, ICP, and Essentials on 4. So ginger is for your gut. Then we have Cardamom Vitality. This is one of the world's favorite cooking spices. It's mainly used in baked goods and savory dishes, but it's great in a warm drink. It is actually, if those of you who know, I love dandelion root tea. I drink a lot of dandelion root tea during the wintertime because it's a great substitute for coffee. Also, like especially if you're fasting, dandelion root tea can be really great if you're doing keto or you're doing a paleo diet, stuff like that. The dandelion root tea. So add some cardamom to that. It'll have a great flavor to it. All right.
All right, so taste testers. Start with the wellness tea. How did you like the wellness tea? With
It just tasted like a cinnamon tea.
a cinnamon tea, and that one was just thieves and honey and water.
It tasted like a cinnamon tea.
The thieves is a little strong.
The thieves is a little strong. Well, it's supposed to make you well, so. And what about the spice jar?
The smell is very strong, but the taste not so much. Very lemony.
I am pleasantly surprised.
There's actually no lemongrass.
Oh, well.
I am pleasantly surprised because with that many oils in it, I expected this to be really, really powerful, but I actually like it and I would drink it, though I must admit I would love some whole milk in it.
Mm-hmm.
But
Would you drink it in a house? Would you drink it
yes.
With
with a mouse?
All right, Brian's going to talk to us about some mocktails.
Oh, hold on. We got one more plug.
Okay.
and we're not going to do a demo of these because they've already had these. But if you're a big tea drinker, then these are a must because Young Living does have their own teas. So I'm going to bring them closer to the camera here. We're going to switch to that view. And there we go. Oh. So these teas from Young Living are absolutely amazing. They work really well if you, just by themselves, or if you want to add some oil to them. And you'll notice like when I did the one with the Darjeeling tea, I added that oil directly to the tea bag. Again, that keeps it from, helps it to diffuse throughout the water a little bit and keeps it from just sitting on top of the water. But both of these teas, and there's one more that's available that we used all of it.
Yeah, this is the black tea one, so you said.
Yeah. Both of those teas, all three of the teas from Young Living are phenomenal. So good. It's really good, high quality tea. Very delicious. All right. But it is still summer, so we do need to at least share one cold drink. So we're going to share our family's favorite mocktail that we'll do with Ningxia Red. And this is simply combining sparkling water, Ningxia Red, and then whatever oils you want. There's lots of different oils that pair really well. I'm going to do a lemon one because I feel like lemon and Ningxia Red, to me, reminds me of Starburst candy, like the flavor of that when you mix those two together. So I'm going to sparkle the water. This is another plug here, totally a little bonus tip. Get yourself a soda stream because we go through it, like negates the need for having to buy a soda or anything like that. We buy a soda stream, we get refillable CO2 canisters, and then you can make these mocktails anytime you want. So while I make that, Jody's going to tell you a little bit about Ningxia and what makes it so amazing.
So Ningxia, my personal story with Ningxia is long time ago, I heard someone talking about Ningxia Red. And she said she recommended people just to drink Ningxia Red at 8, 10, and 2. And I consistently did that for a month. And I went down 2 pant sizes by not changing anything except drinking Ningxia Red. So Ningxia Red is definitely part of our daily wellness routine. In fact, that is the product that our son Asher got started with. He was old enough to have his own account. He got a Ningxia Red kit, and Asher even labels his bottles with his name on it so that his siblings and his mother and dad do not drink from it. I think actually we are using his bottles. I'm not sure is his name on it.
It is name.
All right, we only want Asher.
Or to combat this, once Jody decided she would write on our bottles, not Asher's. And of course, I didn't see the Asher, so I didn't drink that. I was like, oh, it's too bad we don't have any Ningxia right now. And then I realized it said not Asher's. I was like, why didn't you put anything but not Asher's? All right, so you guys each get to pick your own. And I like to add the oils to the Ningxia and then add the sparkling water. So, Naomi, what kind do you want? What kind of oil of the ones we have here?
Orange.
All right.
Another story I have with Ningxia Red is that I used to have to wear glasses at night, and after consistently using Ningxia Red, I have not been wearing glasses at night.
Orange or lemon?
It's really good for your body. It's an antioxidant drink. It's got loads of veggies and fruit in it. That doesn't mean that should replace having vegetables and fruit, because you need that fiber for your gut, because you really do want to go number 2. We gotta talk about that. It's really important to go number 2. It really is. So Ningxia Red also, while we're talking about it, it helps you go number 2. I'll just be honest. So eat your veggies, drink your Ningxia, add some oils. You'll find us having drinking Ningxia Red and adding frankincense, copaiba, and Idaho Grand Fir, especially just if we're feeling some tension in our head. Find that's really helpful. Add some nitro to it. It is pretty spectacular for relieving tension, at least in our field.
Any questions in the chat? How much do you drink a day?
Oh, how much? Probably 2 ounces is what most, because we have shot glasses.
Seasonally, in the winter, we'll drink more than we do in the summer.
So it's anywhere from 1 to
Support
2
your body
ounces just because of our shot glasses. Now Asher doesn't use a shot glass. He drinks it straight out of the bottle.
He
because
uses
it's
the
his
Gary
bottle.
on it.
This bottle that we're drinking out of?
Who knows? Sure. Right? Yeah, just open it.
Yeah, he's
Yeah. All right, so that's all we have. It's time to hear from you guys. Who, and you can either go ahead and unmute and share that way, or type in the chat if you want to be in the queue to go next, so we know who to call in next. But if you're the first one, go ahead and unmute now. We would love to see your demo of your favorite oil-infused drink. So who's it going to be?
Okay, I can't demo because I haven't actually made this yet, but I just heard about this recipe and I can't wait to try it. So you use the chocolate protein powder, and then you add frozen cherries and those little, what are they called? Like those little chocolate nibs, and then a drop of lemon to make a frozen smoothie. I think that sounds really good. So I just got everything and I'm going to try it tomorrow.
That sounds delicious.
Anyone else have a drink?
I will go. Mine is very simple. It's not creative whatsoever.
Oops, Cynthia, hold on 1 second.
Okay.
You got
You try and unmute, Cynthia. Yeah.
That one sounds really good, Anna. Yeah? Sounds like a Black Forest cake. Mine's not very creative, but I do love using the Sleek Essence in my water bottle, and I like a glass water bottle. You can just shake it every time so that if the oils do float to the top, you can just shake it and then chug it. So that's mine. It's very simple.
drops of the Sleek do you put? Oh, how many drops of Sleek did you say you put in there?
I would say I usually use 3 in this bottle. This is almost, I think this is 3/4 of a liter. So I usually use 3 drops.
All right, great recipes. Anybody else got one?
I can share one more. I'm drinking it here. Well, you basically talked about the sparkling water and everything, but instead of adding a drop of oil, using the Vitality drops, to me, there's something about the tangerine spearmint with the Nixia that is just magic. Absolutely love it. I have a sweet tooth, so that sweet kick makes a big difference for me.
These drops don't last long in this house at all, right? We get those, I feel like we get those every month and they're gone within 2 days of receiving.
Yeah,
Who is it that uses them all?
we
Raise your hand if you
actually,
use the Vitality. Yeah, everybody.
we actually had someone get started with Young Living all because of those Vitality drops. She ordered them today because they had helped her so much. I happened to send her some. And she said that they were absolutely amazing. She's like, I want more. She's like, I had no idea the difference because it doesn't taste like artificial flavoring or chemicals. And she just felt so much better, where with other traditional electrolytes, those squeeze bottles, she didn't get the same experience that she got with the Young Living Vitality drops that have the electrolytes in them.
Really?
All right, last chance. Anybody else before we sign off here? Have the rest of you share.
Okay,
I
yeah,
have,
Alexa and I are going
We
to
call it
talk.
our morning cocktail. My husband and I, we have the silver shot glasses like Brian and Jody, and we put Nixia in there, a drop of Thieves and a drop of orange, and we drink it every single morning, no matter what. And we drank that all last winter every day, trying to stay on top of, being healthy in the pandemic.
Yeah. So, hey, like I said, we have this recorded for you guys, and we will be getting that to you sometime this week or next Monday, along with all of these great recipes. But
And more recipes.
Yeah,
We
and-
had some that we didn't have time for.
Right.
So we'll-
but if someone invited you to this class, please go back to that person and say, I want some of these oils, or I heard about those Vitality drops. I would so like to set up my Young Living account. And the person who referred you can help you get started. If not, check out all the people that were leaving comments in the comment section, and you can get started with them, or find us at wisehouseoils.com. So thank you to everyone who helped us tonight.
Yeah, give a round of applause to our taste testing. They worked so hard.
Worked hard, Casey. We appreciate you guys. We look forward to see you on the Wise House Oils app, which is over on Mighty Networks. And don't forget to check out the new books at Life Science Publishing, because the new essential oil desk reference and pocket reference are legit amazing.
All right, so we'll see you guys next Monday. Be sure you register for next Monday's class and join us then. We'll see you then. Bye.